Images of dinosaurs are popular with both children and adults. Etsy shops have dinosaur prints for sale, but where do you find high-quality public domain dinosaur images? They're actually surprisingly difficult to find. So in this video, I have 3 main resources you can use to easily find high-quality, free, and legal dinosaur images that you can use to make posters, t-shirts, or any type of artwork. Let's go. The first resource is Flickr, and there's an album on Flickr, and it's called Victorian Dinosaurs. Now, you do have to do a little bit of homework with some of these images, so I'm just going to show you an example of how this works, because Flickr itself is not always public domain. So don't just go onto Flickr and just start downloading thousands of photos thinking they're all in the public domain. You have to check first. So as I scroll down through this album, and I'm going to put the link in the video below in the video description section. And here we can see, like, for example, just a picture of a British Library digitized image from page 553. So I'm going to open up this in another window. And we can see here, this is the image. It'll just take a second to load in. It's actually quite high quality. When I click the little magnifying glass, I'm just clicking with my mouse here, I can scroll in. And we can see that's a nice, pretty high quality image of a iguanodon. It gives us what it is. And it's actually the page, the scan from the book itself. So as I scroll down, I can see the actual information about the image. I can see that there's no known copyright restrictions. That's a big one, okay. Typically, if these are super old photos, like over 100 years old, there's not going to be restriction on them, but it says no known copyright restrictions. And then it says inside here, I'm just going to make the text here a bit bigger. It says you can explore this item inside the British Library's catalog. And so here it is here. View links related to this image. View this image as a scanned publication on the British Library's online viewer. Ooh, that sounds great. So I'm going to click on that. And what we can see is the British Library itself now has the illustrated book sitting here. It says right at the bottom, public domain. And then here's the actual book itself. Now, it takes a while to load in. It totally depends on your browser speed and how much gas you have in your computer there. But here I can flip through the book and I can see different pages. Now, it's a book, so there's going to be text. I can also see down on the left-hand side, there's thumbnails, and I can scroll down and I can just pick a page and it will load up the page. So there's different images here. I can see through the thumbnails as I scroll through. Here's a map, for example. So I can scroll through and see that as well. So you do have to do a bit of hunting with this album. Although there's not a ton of pictures in the album itself. There's like 24 items in the album. But each one goes to some sort of a link on, most of the time here it's the British Library. So we'll click on this crazy looking crocodile here, and this is figure 12 from a labyrinthodon. So again, this is a digitized image, page 102. I'll open that up, completely different book. And so I can see if I scroll down, it says no known copyright restrictions. And then I can see view this image as a scanned publication inside the online viewer. So I could do the same thing there as well. This is a nice one. This is at page 36, Gately's World Progress General History. So what you'll find is, let's say I really wanted to see skeleton pictures. So I'm going to open up this one. The idea is you'd want to look through the book itself. So I'm going to scroll on down, no known copyright restrictions. And then inside, view this image as a scanned publication in the online viewer. So I'll click on the online viewer. And now I'm going into the book itself. I can see the book here at the bottom. And then on the left-hand side, it's going to load up with all the different pictures of the book itself. So I can click on any page, and then I can see the actual book. So I'm just going to scroll down and see if I can find any more dinosaur pictures here real quick. I've never seen this book before. And a lot of these books have like hundreds and hundreds of pages. Like this one's over like 800 pages. So you'd really have to like scroll through and see if you can find something. So even though there's just 24 images in the album itself, you may find extra images inside the books. And they might not all be dinosaur pictures, but like you could find old vintage images of people too, right? Like old science. So if I wanted to download this, for example, there's a little download button on the bottom, and I could download the entire book. The next resource is the Biodiversity Heritage Library. It's massive. It's a huge online library that's got just good grief. It's got books and volumes and pictures. So this one here is called the Dinosaurs of North America. And so I'm going to put the link in the video below, but if you wanted to search on Google, you would search for Biodiversity Heritage Library, the Dinosaurs of North America. That's the name of the book. And then over on the right-hand side, there's a volume that's being held by the Smithsonian Library. And you can see here as well, copyright, this is public domain. And what that means is it's no longer under copyright protection. Anybody can use it for any reason. So I like this viewer a lot. The Biodiversity Heritage Library has a really nice viewer. And what I like about it is you have options here at the top. You can look at 1 page, 2 pages, or you can even look at thumbnail view, which gives you sort of 4 or 8 pages, depending on the resolution of your monitor or the size that you're looking at on the computer. So as I scroll through this old book, your heart starts to sink a little bit, and you start to go, oh my goodness, there's just walls and walls of text. However, over on the left-hand side, there's a really nice little table of contents as you scroll through, and it will show you illustrations. So if I click on page 164, for example, it says illustration. So I'm just looking now for illustrations, and I can see there's an illustration there. So if I just go to 1-page view, it will just show me the illustration there in more detail. If I scroll right down to near the middle of the book, I start to get to plates. And so I'm looking for plates now. And the plates feature some really nice high quality scans of skulls of dinosaurs. So I'm just going to open up this image in a new tab. And I can see here, that's the image itself. Now I could save it, I can zoom in on it. It's not a super high quality scan, but it's still pretty good. I can zoom in just with my web browser and I can see there, it's not bad. It's a scan from a page and it's not like insanely high quality, but it's still pretty good. Now I can also download the contents as well. I can download the book, or I can just take a screenshot of it as well. So as I scroll through, I can see different plates. And the plates will give you an explanation of what it is. And you can see there's some pretty high quality scans here, relatively speaking. I mean, this is an old book, but you can scroll through and see different options here. There's a really cool way, actually, you can download these pictures inside of the Biodiversity Heritage Library. What you do is if you find a photo or an illustration or a picture that you like and you'd like to download it, instead of just right-clicking the image and opening the image or just saving the image, you can get a higher quality image by going on the left-hand side. And there's a little option here that says View Current Page in Flickr. I'm just going to right-click and open that window. And now I'm going to get to the same image, but it's on the Flickr album. And now this is a much higher quality scan of the image. Now I can download this image by simply going over to the bottom right-hand side, and there's a little download option. And now I can see the different sizes that I have an option to download. This also says it's public domain. It's the exact same photo as what was in the book. It even shows you what album it's sitting in as well. So you can just click on the album too if you just wanted to see images that are inside of that book. So here's sort of the bonus tip is if you just want to see the images, nice Triceratops one there, lots of bones, lots of skeletons, lots of skulls. This is just a really nice resource. I'll put the direct link in the video below to this as well. So this is a great option if you just wanted to do, you know, a poster of a Stegosaurus. This is public domain. It points right to source and it shows you a really nice high quality image that you can use for a poster. These dinosaur books are not super easy to find. You really have to hunt through them. So it's kind of annoying because, you know, you can see here, this one's called Monographs of the United States Geological Survey. There's no dinosaur word. There's no Triceratops word. There's nothing. However, when I go into the volume, I'm just going to open this up. And again, I get to this nice book view page. If I scroll on down, I'm going to get eventually to plates. And I'm looking for plate, so I'm scrolling through on the left-hand side, and I'm seeing now there's plates that pop up. And it's got some pretty high-quality pictures. Now what I'm going to do is instead of scrolling through the entire book, okay, I'm going to just find a picture of something that's half decent. Here we go. Here's a bone. And I'm going to go over to the left-hand side, and I'm going to view the current page in Flickr. So I'm going to open up the Flickr album, and I can see now I'm inside an album, okay? And then I scroll on down and I see it's inside of these other albums on Flickr. So I'm going to click on this album called the Ceratopsia. And that's going to take me to this amazing Flickr album that is all old dinosaur pictures, or most dinosaur pictures. But here's like the really cool like Triceratops skulls. So I'm just going to open up a couple of these. So you may have seen these. These are really popular on like Etsy and Society6, and they're really high quality scans. I'm just going to, go in here and you can see it's like an actual print. It's a page from a book, but now you can just download it. You can download on the right hand side. There's a download option. You can see it here. So these are really nice if you're going to make high quality dinosaur prints for your kids' room, or for selling them on Etsy, or making some sort of a design from them. The third option is called PhyloPic, and these are free silhouettes. And what I really like about these is that they're all in one place. You can search, you can also just browse, and they're pretty high quality scans. Now there are different levels of license for use on this. So it's either public domain or some sort of, you have to attribute license, but I'll just really go through this really quickly here and show you. So I'm going to click on browse at the top. And we can just see a whole bunch are going to open up. There's over 4,000 of these images. And I'm just going to pick something here at random. I'm just going to pick this grizzly bear, for example. So the grizzly bear comes up. I can then have a thumbnail of it. I can have the original pic, which is quite large. Again, I think it's a really nice high quality image. And then if you can even select the raster file as well, which is just a, sometimes it's a SVG file, sometimes it's a PNG file, but you can also run this through Inkscape pretty easily if you wanted to create a vector file if it's not here as well. So there's different public domain licenses or different Creative Commons license. This one says public domain dedication 1.0. It'll tell you what that means right underneath. No copyright. So the person who made this has made it public domain, meaning you can use this for any reason with no attribution. Let's find another image and I'll show you about the Creative Commons license. So most of the 4,600 images on PhyloPic are public domain, but there's a few that require attribution. And so don't get freaked out if you see that. There's really two ways you can search on here, and I'll show you exactly what I mean when we see one that requires attribution. There's the browse button at the top. When I click on that, it's going to just give me just sort of a feed here of a bunch of different animals, and I can load more in, and it just continues down. So you can probably get through all 4,600 images just like this, just with a visual search, which is pretty cool. You can also do an actual search at the top. So I'm going to click on the search bar, and I'm just going to type in the word dinosaur, and then I'll click search. What will happen is I'll get back a whole bunch of different results here. And I'm just going to click this Dinosauria one. You can just click on any of them, but I'm going to click on the second one down. And that's going to give me a bunch of pictures here at the top. Okay. Now it's going to give me other things like words underneath it, synonyms and that sort of thing, scientific terms. I'm just looking for the images for today. So I'm just going to hover over the image and I can see some information that comes up. Public domain. That one's a Creative Commons 3. That one's a Creative Commons 3. Non-commercial 3. So you just have to look through some of these. Now I can click on this one here that's public domain. So I might just wait for my little thumbnail there. I just click on it. And this one will come up and it will say no copyright. And there's an original work there. I'll just click on the one that's just one of these ones in the, that's non-commercial. So here's an example of where it says non-commercial 3. So Creative Commons does not always mean public domain. Creative Commons 3 means non-commercial. So there are a few of these that are non-commercial, but I did want to highlight that because if you're just making something for your kid's room, or if you're just crafting for, you're not selling it, then, here's a great opportunity that you can use this as well.